Welcome back to Hollywood Bulletin. Today we uncover a story so shocking and so deeply buried that for decades it was locked away in a dusty storage unit under a fake name. Imagine it, a small, unmarked locker in a quiet Burbank warehouse paid for in cash month after month for 30 years. Untouched, unseen, its true owner long gone. And when it was finally opened, the world discovered not just memorabilia, but secrets capable of shaking Hollywood to its core. Letters revealing the truth about his real mother's identity, tapes that could destroy powerful careers, and evidence of what truly happened with Kim Novak in 1958. He documented everything, and after 3 decades of silence, the truth of Sammy Davis Jr. is finally out. Born on December 8, 1925 in Harlem, New York City, Sammy entered the world already surrounded by the rhythms and footlights of show business. His father, Sammy Davis Sr., and his mother, Elvira Sanchez, were vaudeville performers. But even from his first breath, there was a secret. His mother was Cuban, a fact the family hid because of the prejudice that pulsed through America at the time. In a world where revealing your roots could destroy record sales and turn public opinion against you, baby Sammy's life began with a truth that had to be hidden. Harlem during the Harlem Renaissance was alive with music, art, and brilliance, and for Sammy, it became his first stage. By the age of 2, while most toddlers were barely stringing sentences together, he was performing with the Will Maston Trio, a musical act led by his father and family friend, Will Maston. While other kids played with toys, Sammy sang and danced on stages across America. The spotlight became his playground, but it stole his childhood. He learned to charm audiences before he could properly read, traveling from city to city, sleeping in strange hotel rooms, learning early that the applause came with a price. And everywhere they went, the ugly signs of segregation, whites only, reminded him he was different. It lit a fire in him, a quiet vow that one day he would break those barriers. At just 3 years old, his parents separated, and his father took full custody, plunging Sammy deeper into show business. Will Maston became a protector, guiding him through the harsh realities of being a young black entertainer in a divided country. At age 7, Sammy made his big screen debut in Rufus Jones for President, acting alongside Ethel Waters. In an America where black faces were rare in cinema, Sammy's charm burst through the screen. The film dared to imagine a black boy as president, a vision decades ahead of its time, and Sammy's energy made people forget, for just a moment, the color of his skin. But there was no normal school life for him. His classroom was the road, his teachers were experience, and the pages of books he carried with him. He taught himself languages, mastered instruments, and honed talents no classroom could teach. That hunger for learning matched his hunger for performing, and by 18, in 1943, he was drafted into the US Army. And that's where his story turned brutal. He was placed in one of the first integrated units, but unity was an illusion. The very first soldier he met called him a slur. He endured daily abuse, beatings, humiliation, and nights tied to trees in the freezing cold. White soldiers painted his skin white, laced his drinks with urine, broke his nose 3 times, and forced him to perform with slurs scrawled across his forehead. The army looked the other way. The cruelty nearly broke him. But instead of giving in, Sammy found his weapon, performance. Joining the army's entertainment unit, he discovered that even men who hated him couldn't resist clapping. Their applause became his armor. By 1951, Sammy had returned to civilian life with a new fire. That year, performing with the Will Maston Trio at the famed Ciro's nightclub in Los Angeles, his life changed overnight. On a night when Hollywood royalty filled the room, Humphrey Bogart, Marilyn Monroe, Judy Garland, Sammy gave a performance so electrifying that by morning, he was the talk of the town. Bookings poured in, television called, and Sammy Davis Jr. became a rising star. But fate had another twist. In 1954, just 29 years old, Sammy was in a devastating car crash on Route 66. The impact crushed his face and cost him his left eye. For most, it would have ended a career. For Sammy, it became another chapter in his legend. 8 weeks later, wearing a glass eye, he was back on stage, dazzling audiences. During his recovery, he found solace in Judaism, saying its history of struggle mirrored his own. Becoming both black and Jewish in 1950s America made him a double outsider and a double fighter. Las Vegas became his battlefield. He could sell out shows but wasn't allowed to stay in the hotels where he performed. He fought back, using his fame to pressure casinos to desegregate. By the early 1960s, he had helped end official segregation in Las Vegas hotels.
Sammy wasn't just a singer, he was Mr. Show Business. He could sing, dance, play multiple instruments, mimic voices, tell jokes, and perform gun tricks all in one show. In 1956, he conquered Broadway with Mr. Wonderful. In 1964, he took another bold step, starring in Golden Boy, where he played a black boxer in love with a white woman. The onstage kiss brought bomb threats, but Sammy refused to back down. And then came Kim Novak. Their romance in the late 1950s was one of the most dangerous love stories in Hollywood. In an era where interracial relationships could cost lives, Sammy and Kim were hunted by gossip columns, studio executives, and even the mob. One night, mobsters kidnapped Sammy and told him to leave Kim or lose his remaining eye, or worse. Days later, he ended the relationship, marrying another woman in a sham wedding to protect himself. It nearly drove him to suicide. In 1960, he married Swedish actress May Britt, defying America's unwritten rules. The backlash was vicious. They endured bomb threats, racial slurs, and career sabotage. May lost her film contract. Sammy was disinvited from President Kennedy's inauguration, and their children grew up in the shadow of prejudice. His life offstage was chaotic. Addictions to alcohol, cocaine, and gambling drained his fortune. At his peak, he could make $185,000 a night and still lose $40,000 at the tables before morning. Bad business deals and generosity that went unchecked left him drowning in debt. Yet his talent never faded. In 1972, his song The Candyman became his only #1 hit, selling over 2 million copies. By the 1980s, he reunited with Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin for a global farewell tour, filling arenas with tens of thousands of fans. But behind the curtain, his health was collapsing. In 1989, he was diagnosed with throat cancer. Offered surgery that would save his life but take his voice, Sammy chose radiation, desperate to keep singing. The cancer returned. By early 1990, the man who once commanded Vegas weighed just 60 pounds and could barely whisper. On May 16, 1990, Sammy Davis Jr. died at 64, his voice silenced forever. But the tragedy didn't end there. Despite earning millions, Sammy died owing the IRS over $7 million. His wife lost their home, his possessions were auctioned, and much of his legacy was scattered. And then came one last twist. A secret storage unit rented under a fake name filled with Sammy's personal treasures. Hidden just 2 weeks after the auction, it held clothing, instruments, documents, and photos. It was a final reminder that even after death, the life of Sammy Davis Jr. was filled with secrets, scandals, and stories waiting to be told. Sammy Davis Jr. was more than a performer. He was a fighter, a trailblazer, and a survivor who stared down racism, defied Hollywood's rules, and lived life on his own terms. His story is one of triumph and tragedy, of glitter and grit, and of a man who gave everything to the stage, even when it cost him everything else. So, if you believe stories like this deserve to be remembered, subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin, hit that like button, and ring the bell icon so you never miss the truth behind the legends.